All right. So hi guys, I'm a photographer, and I'm excited to debut a new long-term documentary photography project that I've been working on. It's still very much a work in progress. And the project focuses on Golden Sunrise, New Year's Association, which is the last remaining fancy club in the Philadelphia Mummers with roots dating back to the 1930s. And the first photograph you're seeing is of a costume called a fancy suit that is minus the back piece that's hanging up in the clubhouse. And the next one you're going to see is one of our club captain as viewed through one of the back pieces. I've been photographing in 35mm black and white film because I believe a culture and folk art practice that's rooted in tradition and timelessness deserves a traditional and a timeless photographic approach. I didn't grow up in the mummer tradition, and in fact it wasn't something I had any knowledge of when I was growing up. I only discovered it recently when I moved to Philadelphia, and it was basically love at first sight. And these next two photos in the sequence are of several other mummers clubs, not Golden Sunrise. The one on the left was taken on 2nd Street, which mummers call 2 Street. And the one on the right is a portrait of a fancy brigade member taken backstage at a convention center this past New Year's Day. And while neither of them are of Golden Sunrise, I think they're worth including to remind us that each independent club is part of this larger tradition. So as a photographer, I'm interested in exploring communities and looking at the concept of community, asking us, how do we define and create community, and what does it take to sustain a community? And so I see the mummers as a community first, and actually communities plural, since it's comprised of many independent clubs. And for mummers, the club can function as an extended family, and some folks compare it to like playing on a sports team, so it's a very supportive environment. So my project focuses on that environment, and the culture, and the traditions, and the community or family aspects more than it does on the parade. The Mummers Clubhouse itself. Okay. So the Mummers Clubhouse itself is an important physical space. It functions also as an important social space, so much of my project is located there, because that space contains the collective memory, shared practices, and shared values of the small, vibrant, and oftentimes misunderstood community. So it's an inquiry into, and maybe partly an elegy for, this amazing collective experience. And what you saw were a couple of iPhone photos previously of the Golden Sunrise Clubhouse, and now talk a little bit about what is a fancy club. So fancy clubs parade down Broad Street on New Year's Day in elaborate handcrafted costumes, lovingly decorated with plumes, feathers, sequins, glitter, lots of just sparkly, spangly things. And throughout the year, they design and make these costumes, which are known as fancy suits, and they can be quite expensive to make depending on the materials used. For example, real ostrich and peacock feathers, which definitely aren't cheap. And this photograph shows a member working on an undersea themed suit. Took several months to complete. Kids. Okay, sorry. Is this better? So here kids are trying on different costumes, and kids can help make them too if they want. Golden Sunrise is very kid-friendly. The youngest members start at the age that they first learn to walk. The thinking goes, if they can walk, then they can walk in the parade. So I wanted to quickly give you just a basic overview of the two different types of suits. The first is the iconic suits with large back pieces. Large metal rods are welded together to form a skeletal frame that's then decorated. And back pieces are attached via leather harnesses that you wear around your middle. And 2 drawstrings in your hand ensure that it doesn't fly off in case there's a sudden wind. Second type is called a frame suit. And on the left, you can see the basic design or schematic. And over the years, small innovations have occurred in terms of design. For example, for a long time, wheels weren't allowed, so people had to carry the entire parade route. So first, a simple change of adding wheels in the bottom was a little controversial, then it was standard practice. And here now on the left, you can see an old archival photo that shows a completed frame suit before being decorated, to get a sense of what it looks like. And on the right is a contemporary float-style frame suit from Golden Sunrise. It's pulled from the outside. So you can see small innovations, inspiring creativity, and leading to new and better breakthroughs in design. So in 2014, the fancy division shrank down to one club, Golden Sunrise. And this marked a turning point. Without the thrill of having another club to compete against, many of the old-timers went elsewhere. Membership dwindled, and the end seemed near. But then something unexpected happened. Younger people arrived who weren't connected to the mummers maybe, but were really interested in being a part of it. And they brought with them energy, enthusiasm, and ideas. So we go from innovation in the design of the traditional suits to innovation in the design of the traditional club. And these last 2 photographs, incidentally, were taken in the main work area where a lot of the suits and props are stored and get made. And it's pretty magical back there. Half expect everything to come alive at night. So now Golden Sunrise is in a transitional state. It's sort of a changing of the guard moment. Many young people have joined within the past 5 years and become actively involved. They've spread the word, invited friends and colleagues, and fostered a very welcoming and inclusive environment. And Golden Sunrise's membership is becoming more diverse as well. And the club is an inclusive space, and inclusivity is an important aspect of long-term sustainability for any club or community. This is a photograph of the festivities along Mummers Road in South Philly. And one of the things that's really special about the parade is that it's a steadfastly non-commercial event, so there's only 2 local sponsors, and that's it. One Golden Sunrise member, paraphrase him, he said, "The parade belongs to the people, so the members feel that any long-term approach to sustaining the club should honor and respect that." In terms of fostering the sense of community, one priority, of course, is to expand membership. We'll talk a little bit about Dunbar's number. We're going to skip ahead here. So in the club's case, the maximum number for sustainability is probably about 70 to 80 people. So once that number is reached, the club would cap membership and then help create and support newer, smaller satellite clubs and begin to regenerate the fantasy division in the process. Parade is non-commercial, so the cost of running the club is shared by all the members, mainly through yearly dues, although no one's turned away from lack of funds. So membership is $135 per person, so 70 to 80 paying members actually covers the basics for putting on the parade indefinitely without any additional fundraising. But they're not tax deductible yet, which explains why the next step is to become a nonprofits arts association dedicated to preserving and showcasing this amazing folk art. Nonprofit status will help the club raise funds and grow membership and ensure that the tradition is preserved. Plus, that way they can more easily partner with other artists and arts organizations throughout the city, reach out to the larger community through arts education, programs and workshops for schools and museums, and as well as partnering with other Mummers organizations such as Santino's Dragons, which is set up for children with autism. So imagine a future where a Mummers Club becomes a 501c3 charitable organization. That's actually in the works now. And the application was just submitted, I believe, this week. So. And my project, I hope, with it is telling the stories in photographs will lead to renewed appreciation of this one-of-a-kind Philadelphia institution. Thank you.